guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, this great update to a video I covered last week, which is titled, Father Sacrificed Happiness to Protect His Son. Now that he's an adult, it's time to divorce the bee. And guys, as a recap, that's about the guy over in the UK. We called him Nigel. And it was his stories about how he's been staying in this loveless, sexless marriage with his unhappy, miserable wife to protect his son. And he met the wife when he was young at church. This guy he's a religious guy, never had any girlfriends, any female experience, certainly not hooking up. Got with her. It was pretty much a her way or the highway relationship, but because he was young, desperate, and didn't know any better, he went along with it. And she stonewalled him into marrying her, and he did. Then they had some hookups and had the kid. And pretty much their whole marriage has been her way or the highway. Eventually she was sleeping in the other room. He left her at one point because he was sick of it, but decided to stay for the kid. And while that was certainly noble of him, I was telling him, bro, you could have probably helped your kid and he would have been okay, but you've been sacrificed all these years. You could have been happy staying with this woman. And I told him at the end of the video, okay, your son's obviously an adult now or darn close to it. You're 50 years old, 50-ish. You got plenty of life left. Get rid of her. Start over. You can't live a life like this being miserable. Well, guess what, guys? He's about to make us all very proud. And by the way, you may be thinking, SSM, you did this video a week and a half ago. A lot couldn't have happened in a week and a half. Well, he sent me his story back in February. So that story is 6 months old now. And this goes to show you such a backlog of stories and emails I have, guys. So when you send your story, and bear with me, I will get to it eventually. It's been 6 months. So I think writing the story, sending it to me, really helped open his eyes. So you're going to see his update, where things are going with him, and you'll be quite happy. Now, before I do, real quick, I got to give a shout out here to this group of young guys that are following my work for a couple of years. A subscriber here has had his son watching my channel since he was 10 years old because he did not want his son to turn out to be like the rest of so many of the young guys out there. And this young son, he coaches his son and all that. And this boy here has a little group, a little gang of friends in school that are all like a non-simp club called The Boys. Okay. And pretty much if any of them start simping, they kick him out. And they watch traditional guy movies and stuff like that, and he's giving a little update about his son here. It's pretty funny. He says, "Greetings, SSM. I'm happy to see how well Florida is treating you and you escaped the massholes. I'm enjoying Florida, my man. I wrote in about a year ago regarding my then 10-year-old son, his club called The Boys. He's now 12 years old. I'm happy to report the club is still strong, and the young men they kicked out for simping is still simping, and in my son's word, has become a court jester for girls. And he's always going to be a court jester for girls. I also want to share another story about a conversation he and I had in the car today that made me well with pride. My son said the following. Number 1, the manly men in movies get the girls and not the simps just like in real life. Very true. And 2, if you like a girl and she says she wants to be friends, you tell her, I don't want to be just friends, and you walk away. But sadly, many simps who never have girls pay attention will stay friends with them. If your son at 12 years old is picking up on the fact that you never ever accept the friend zone or just friends with a girl you like, he is light years ahead. Light years. There's hope, gentlemen. Every day I continue to impart wisdom on him, such as girls come last on his list. Also be kind, but take shit from no one. I also give him an allowance for chores and mandate that he saves 5% of it. I also asked him about a safe to store, but he still likes his piggy bank. Keep up the great work with the WTF stories that you tell. Well, bro, that's great that you started having your son watch my videos at 10 years old. I'm sure his mom doesn't like it, but, she'll get over it. And good on your son and his gang of guys. Now, I'm going to recommend at 12 years old, if he hasn't done so already, that you get your son in some type of self-defense classes, martial arts. If you can't get him in martial arts, something that has a real street fighting, realistic application. A lot of martial arts are purely sport for the mats. You want something real life. One of the best real life things is Krav Maga, but they don't usually offer that for younger kids. But give them some kind of practical self-defense thing. And if you can't get self-defense, boxing. And I would say for 2 years, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, have him do that. And about 2 years of training, that will help him. Because all young guys need to learn how to fight. And that is a major confidence boost. And I'd also say if he doesn't do so already, he starts exercising. I'm not saying lifting heavy weights. He's 12 years old. That's debatable whether he could do that, but certainly by 13 or 14, he can start lifting weights, but high repetition, learning proper form, that type of thing. But at 12 years old, he can be doing push-ups all the time, pull-ups, sit-ups and crunches, running, body weight exercises, dips between bars. That's okay. Get him physically going, and he's going to be in a good place. So keep watching the show, guys, and that's awesome. Okay, on to the main story. This guy says, "Hi, SSM. It's Nigel again from the UK. Thank you so much for reading my story and posting it. A special thanks for not smacking me into oblivion." I think I smacked you a lot. Hearing my own story read back to me made me realize a few truths I hadn't noticed when I was writing it. I read all the comments and wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to comment. That's a lot of comments, my man. Thanks to the community for sharing your wisdom for me and for being firm, fair, and encouraging. I take full accountability, as any adult should, so I decided to give you an update. It has been 6 months since I wrote to you, and lots has happened to me. It's been a complete roller coaster with some extremely high highs and very low lows. Before I tell you how my life is going, I need to take you back in time a little bit to fill in some of the gaps that I glossed over in the first telling of my story. This might mitigate some of my decisions for some of you or explain why I did what I did. Remember, guys, we were all young and we all made mistakes and didn't have a guide or a mentor and everything. That's okay, but you got to learn from them. It's just some mistakes. It's like, come on. So it was during the COVID lockdown, the spring and summer of 2020, that I knew my marriage was dead. I lost my job, my wife Ann's small business collapsed, our savings was gone. I didn't have the means to protect and provide for my family anymore. Ann had no further use for me, of course, so demanded a divorce and tried to throw me out of my house again. So that event happens in 2020, not your fault. You lose your job. Her business, she went out of business. Wasn't her fault, because obviously she probably couldn't do her thing. You had to spend up all your money to stay afloat. Wasn't that a wonderful time, guys? And now she's kicking you out because it's your fault. Because in her mind, you're the man. You should have found a way. Now, I'm all for men finding a way, but we all could be in impossible situations. But then again, her demanding a divorce is the best thing ever could happen to you. We had a massive fight, and I finally laid out all the things that were wrong about our marriage. I was so upset, I was seriously considering self-deletion. No, bro. No. Many guys have been there, have thought that. There are times in my life I've thought that too, and I kid you not. I have severe depression in my family, but I've learned to cope with it. It's never the answer. There's always another day. Live to fight another day, and I'm glad you did. They say one song can change your life. For me, it was A Hero's Death by Fontaines DC. The lyrics really encapsulated how I wanted to live my life. I changed my whole behavior and took control overnight. I said, you can leave if you don't like it. I'm staying with my son. Suddenly growing up hair, having boundaries, and being masculine totally enraged Ann beyond imagination. Of course, because for your entire relationship, you have been that submissive pushover guy. So all of a sudden, you're standing up for yourself, laying boundaries, but you don't talk that way to me. Her voice is probably deeper than James Earl Jones when she was mad at you, because she never expected that from you. Can you see why I said get rid of her? There is still a dent in the plaster where she threw a stool at me. I ducked, so the wall has the hit instead. Please tell me, on the one hand, I wouldn't want your son to see that. On the other hand, your son should see that to understand why you're finally getting rid of his ogre of a mother here. That is inexcusable. I explained that our marriage was dead in all but name. We would live like housemates in the short term until our son left for college. We would then sell the house, split the estate 50-50, and divorce. We would share all the chores and bills in an equitable way, while co-parenting our son in a positive way. We would use this experience to show how adults can resolve complex situations in an adult and civilized way. Problem is, you're civilized, she's not. She's a goddamn barbarian. She probably has hair on her arms, armpits, and legs like a goddamn barbarian. She is English, after all. No offense. Or is that the French women? I never hooked up with any girls in Paris. I'm not that cool, so I don't know. No shouting, no fights, no stink eye, just polite and grown-up people being grown up. Our son would remain the focus of our relationship, as he always was. Well, that's all fine and dandy until, Sir Bitch, Miss Bitch, whether she goes along with it or not. But good for you for standing up for yourself. Better late than never. Once Anne stopped chewing wasps, my plan actually began to work. I just maintained my boundaries, held firm, didn't flake, and Anne got the idea. You see what happens when a man takes charge, lays down the law, make it clear, I'm not tolerating this bullshit anymore? Whammo. I changed the way Anne and my son viewed me. Before leaving for college in September 2023, my son has shown me that a deeper understanding and respect exists between us. Financial hardship delayed the sale of the house and the divorce, so Anne and I would be living in the house alone, and I changed the narrative once more. Well, good for you. As soon as my son was gone, I informed Anne I would start dating. I'd be totally honest and open about it. There would be no discreet, but total disclosure about where I was going and what I was doing. Yeah, obviously it's too... It's not the right time, so you're going out there. But here's the thing. You're still married to her, and this could cause you problems. So just be careful here. Anne was extremely angry. Oh, I'm sure she was. She probably went all Incredible Hulk on you. But I kept my cool, saying, as steak is off the menu, I'm off for burgers later. Anne looked at me with rage in her eyes, but said nothing. I had a few totally horrible first dates on Bumble with some self-entitled, rude, arrogant, heartless women. I learned more about women in 6 months than the previous 30 years. You'd think if you watched my channel, you wouldn't need to go on 6 months of dates with Bumbles and Tinderellas and all that. You would have learned from me the mess that is out there and saved yourself a whole lot of time and effort. But maybe just getting out of the house, maybe you just had to see it for yourself. Who knows? I mentioned before that I've been working through my childhood trauma using various holistic treatments, therapy, and some pharma. After a year of this, I've actually been diagnosed with some serious mental health conditions. Many of the poorest decisions in my life were made through this lens, but now I can really begin to heal and grow. That's wonderful, man. You can't grow, guys, until you accept or be made aware that you got a problem or some issues. You know, that's the first step. Step one was to put an end to dating random women on apps. I started looking for my tribe, the people that would get me straight away, to meet people face to face, make friends, and find a girlfriend. There's an idea, man. Look, dating apps are a relatively new thing in human history here. They all came about 1999, 2000, Match.com showed up. Before that, people actually went out and talked to people. I know it's hard to go out and talk to people and everybody's on their fucking phones looking down like, smartphone zombies, but still. Go out there, do things that you enjoy, and you'll be around other people that do the same type of things you enjoy. You'll have something in common, and I'm sure there'll be some chicks there. There you go. I wanted to find a metalhead, goth, or geek woman who would actually appreciate and accept me for who I am. Well, very few women are actually ever going to accept a man who he truly is. Just want to point that out. But remember this guy used to, I think, played the drums. He's into metal and stuff like that before he was married to Attila the wife. I'm going back to black, and I'm looking for someone who would respect me, encourage me, show affection and love, who would be feminine and allow me to be masculine. Well, here's the thing, bro. You're not going to get that until you yourself, there's no a woman allowing you to be masculine. You're going to do it regardless whether she likes it or not. Like you did with your wife. You started being masculine. She didn't like it too much. And until you truly respect yourself and demonstrate that through your actions and how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, how you respond to situations, you're not going to get too many gals to truly appreciate you and be submissive and feminine until you start flipping the script. And you're on that path. I just want to point that out. I'm much more positive now, and I actively try to push joy into the world. Letting go of the fear and anger was the best thing I ever did, and it was controlling me. Well, fear and anger is the path to the dark side. You don't want to go there. It's incredibly how positive people are towards me now that I'm positive towards myself. Correct. Nobody wants to talk to and hang out with someone that looks like they're walking around with a storm cloud above them. They want somebody that has a scowl on their face and walking around pissed off. They're going to think they're going to do something awful. But if you're having a good time and you're happy and you're smiling, you got relaxed body language, people are going to be more responsive to that. I'm happy to report that I have met an amazing gal and a local folk group of dancers and musicians in my hometown. Wonderful. You went out and did stuff you enjoy, and there you go. I get to drum again, not metal, but I really feel at home. Following your advice, my relationship with this woman has no labels, no expectations, and no commitments. We live each day as it comes and bask in each other's joy. We connect on so many levels: intellect, music, politics, sense of humor, goth culture, TV, and film, and intimacy. I feel like I've lived a decade in the last few months. That's awesome, man. Got yourself a goth chick, huh? I never banged a goth chick. I'm probably not missing anything, but I don't know. There's that freaky thing to them that you never know. And you guys out there bang, I'm sure some of you guys out there have banged some goth chicks aside from this guy. Let's hear about it. You know, so that literally it's kind of like the girls with the bad boys, and now here we are, guys thinking, you know, that girl with the fucking tattoos and piercing, that ain't no girl you bring home to mama. But they can be quite freaky and adventurous in the sack. Anyway, you guys have banged goth chicks, let me know. But anyhow, that's great, man, but don't rush into anything. So it's time to move forward with that divorce, because I hope your wife doesn't use this against you. But you guys are pretty much divorced in everything but officially. I plan to sell my house and divorce at the end of this year. Well, good. You got 5 months to go to the end of the year. My relationship with my son is blossoming, and I'm meeting his girlfriend soon. My earnest and fervent aim is to break the toxic cycles I've experienced and give my son his best chance in life. It is important to my son that Ann and I continue to be polite and cordial, to meet regularly as a family and not have a crazy ex. Well, bro, you can try your best and your darndest, but if she's going to be a wacko, she's a wacko. Well, she is a wacko. And by the way, quite honestly, after you divorce, you have no reason whatsoever to see her again. Why? You spent all these years with her. No. If you want to get along, for him, fine. But that don't mean, if you're thinking, okay, even though we're divorced, we're going to get together for Christmas or Easter, no freaking way. This girl you like and any of the future girlfriends are going to be gone real quick if you're getting together with the ex-wife. No, you endured enough all these years. You've endured enough for your son. Your son will be an adult, and he'll understand you're divorced, and you're no longer seeing each other. Don't put yourself through that misery, okay? You're allowed to put you first now. Your son is an adult, or darn close to that. As a footnote here, there is no doubt my son is my blood. His bone structures, mannerisms, charm, wit, and sense of humor, intellect all match mine. Well, that could be the nurture thing versus nature, but okay, I really do hope he's yours. He probably is, given that your wife was just zero interested in the love altogether anyway. He has said to me several times the profound love, gratitude, and respect he has for me and for everything I have done and continue to do. Actually, I also think that Ann is asexual now, having been celibate for 8 years with zero interest in any man. If Ann wants to join the LGBTQ+ community, good luck to her. All the best to you, SSM, and the folks in the community. Nigel, that's great to hear from you, man. You're doing awesome. Just, again, take it slow with this goth girl or, who's into the music and all. I'm glad you're having a great time. You deserve to have someone around you that actually treats you well and you have fun together. It's not too late, but I'm just concerned that you rush things. Don't do that, okay? So this girl could be the one that kind of helps you get through this time, things fizzle out, and maybe meet another one down the road. And don't even think about getting married after this. No. But you still need a lot of work on yourself. And I just don't want you to make the mistakes you once did, and because believe me, you spend your life being the nice guy pleaser. You can learn some things, but still that nice guy pleaser can come out real quick. Be careful with attachments, because it's attachments that really cause us problems. You build up an attachment to this girl, and you start tolerating a bunch of BS that you did with your soon-to-be ex-wife out of fear. Fear of losing her, fear of this, fear of that. Take your time. Put you first, always. I can't stress that enough. Doesn't mean you gotta be a jerk, or a wanker, because you're in the UK, so I'm going to use one of your UK terms, a wanker. But to put you first and be a good guy, and good things will come. That's all I can say. And it's great your son's doing well. I'm really proud of him. So in time, write me again 6 months from now. Once you write me again once the divorce is through, and let me know where things are going. And just mention this video in the email, and then I'll definitely do an update, because a lot of guys want an update. So guys, if you want an update to this after his divorcing the harpy, let me know in the comment section. Let him know in the comment section. He'll definitely do that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.